I have to start recording because I know I'm not gonna have time tomorrow night, but I'm not in the mood tonight. Last time we discussed books on this vlog, I told you about this year's Youth Media Awards winners, which tells you a lot about what's good in current children's and young adult literature, but doesn't really tell you much about what I like. But if you look behind me at my fiction shelves, you might get more of a clue. Now, the thing about my book collection is it's pretty much all the books I have ever owned from the time I was about 10 years old, as well as the books my husband has owned since I have no idea when. I have never gotten rid of a book unless I had a duplicate. And I also have marionettes, which might not really be considered books, but let's go through. As we start at the beginning with Alcott. Actually, no, with like Aiken. How do I not know how to pronounce her name? Anyway, and move down. I'll run into if I see anything that stands out that I need to talk about. For example, my first favorite author that you will notice on my shelves is Jane Austen. And I love Henry Tilney. He is my favorite Austen hero. So, suck it, Mr. Darcy. Yeah, I said that. Move on into Abby. If you have never read The True Confessions of Charlotte Doyle, go out and read it now because it's awesome. Libba Bray, this is the only Libba Bray book I actually own, but it's wonderful. I adore that woman. This is a book that for many years I had to read every spring, and then I ran out of time to read books, let alone read books. The Secret Garden is one of my favorites forever and ever. We've got The Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. They are the same book, even if they are really two different books. You just can't have one without the other. We move down through the Agatha Christie's. Does anyone disagree with me that this is the greatest Agatha Christie book? Well, if you do, you're boring. The Tom Clancy's are my husband's, and we get into Beverly Cleary. I forgot exactly how awesome she was until just a couple weeks ago on her last birthday when I did a library program and reread some stuff and missed. She's pretty awesome. See, I would like to point out these books, The Runaway Princess and Runaway Dragon by Kate Coombs. Kate was one of the first actual real live author friends I made on the internet. The big, entire, complete Dark is Rising set. Oh wait, yeah. What? Did I already show you this one? I already showed you this one. Yeah. Official American Ambassador to Montmartre. Yeah. This one is signed too. There is the signing. So I went to an SCBWI conference. Bruce Coville was the keynote speaker, and he also did my manuscript critique. And he really enjoyed my manuscript, and it made my year. I still don't know what I'm doing with that manuscript though, but you know, in the meantime. We go through the Catherine Colberti, that's a good book. The Doll, the more stuff, the Dickens, the Doyle, the movie adaptation of Willow. That was my favorite movie when I was 9. Thank you. I don't know how this is the only Lois Duncan book I own. But speaking of authors, this was the first real author I ever met in person in my life. Pat Easton. She's also the SCBWI president of this area. And she is also, actually lives in the next town over from me. And I've talked to her as an adult. As well. One of the most wonderful and not nearly famous enough books in the world. Nancy Farmer's Ear, the Eye, and the Arm. Must read. Moving down. The Haddocks. The Hess. The Diana Wynne Jones. This was the first of hers I read, and no, I hadn't seen the movie first, and then I saw the movie later, and I was quite offended by it because they completely messed up Hal's character. It was actually good. I liked all the other changes they made to the movie, but not the fact that the person they called Hal was absolutely nothing like Hal. But I love Diana Wynne Jones because she's just so brilliant, creative, amazing, and I now try to write my rough drafts to her as inspiration. Oh, E.O. Konigsberg died the other day. Okay. Speaking of which, where on earth is my copy of the mixed up files of, you know, what's it? Here you see before you my vast collection of old Nancy Drews. My first love, book-wise. My mother started reading them aloud to me when I was in first grade, and I was a mystery lover ever since. Move into then, speaking of lovers. This is my biggest collection because I try to collect absolutely everything I can. My most recent one is right here. This was sent to me by a friend for my birthday. She looked on my Amazon wish list and noticed that it was like a penny from Goodwill in one of the used stores. So sent it to me. Madeline L'Engle is the woman that I named my daughter after. Of course, I've mentioned A Wrinkle in Time, but my other favorite by her is from her other series, The Austins. It's A Ring of Endless Light. The most beautiful, moving, and yet actually enjoyable book about death you will ever read. I don't know why somebody put The Irrational Season over here because it belongs in the nonfiction section. Anyway, we move on to Lois Lowry. I believe my giver is autographed. Is my giver autographed? Why, yes it is. It just says for Amy Lois Lowry. That was where I met Lois Lowry, and she totally, completely intimidated me. Somebody apparently doesn't like the Babysitters Club because this is where my entire Babysitters Club collection was. And somebody ripped it off the shelf, and I don't even know. Is it somewhere down there? The Robotech books. Those are my husband's also. Anne of Green Gables. Another of my favorite books ever. Anne is, of course, everyone's favorite fictional character. They've got the Firefly Serenity graphic novels here. Those are technically my husband's, but I bought them for him. Another book everyone needs to read and not enough people know is Ghosts I Have Been by Richard Peck. It looks like it's a very serious, sad book on the cover, but actually it is freaking hilarious, a little bit spooky, and generally awesome. Another one of my favorite fictional characters of all time is the lead of that book. I move on down. Anything else exciting? Of course, there's the Harry Potter collection. You can see what happened for the first 4 books. I was still living with my parents, or near enough with my parents. I was actually in college, that I was reading their books when it came out. By book number 5, I was living alone, and so I had to buy my own copy. And then I went back and bought the paperbacks of the first 4 books. I don't know where my Prisoner of Azkaban went, because then I needed a set completely that way. Holes. That is not a book that not enough people know. It's just a very, very classic book. And if you haven't read it, go out and do it now, because, yeah, you have to. Okay, what is on earth? We've got some random Wilder books that are out of alphabetical order here. Good thing. Oh, look, there's some of the last Babysitters Club books. We got the Series of Unfortunate Events, which just cracks me up. Then moving on down, we reached the dark depths of the Tolkien section. I think I need a flashlight. You can read The Lord of the Rings in either the 3-volume paperback edition or the big, fat, 1-volume, pretty cool edition. This is, of course, the book my son is named after. Sort of. I mean, his legal name is Samuel, not Samwise, but, you know. Can you see? Who's that? Why is that guy so ugly? What's wrong? Oh, speaking of which, look what my mom got me. Isn't he cute? His face changes. But I like the horrified one better. Couple things of Twain and Exploit and Dragonlance. And this is where the Wilder books should have gone. See, oh, you know what? There's all my Babysitters Club books. And maybe some more Wilder books. And I'm not sure. There's Shredder's Web. And there's my clarinet. Which is not a book. If you really want to get interesting, we can walk over to the nonfiction section. There's all the books I got for my birthday again. You already saw those. That's the birthday card my best friend sent me. Isn't it awesome? I'm pretty sure I've already shown you all my really great nonfiction books.